So it's kind of late. It's going on 1 in the morning and it's dark outside, but I did want to go ahead and make another video just because I'm trying to make more and more videos, just, as I'm doing stuff because I'm trying to get better at, making, step-by-step videos so that I can go back and watch everything. And so if any of you guys are following and actually care about what I'm doing, can see. So anyway, in the last little video that I just made, I was doing the wheel arches, so they had a chance to dry, and now they stay tacky, because I guess that's how undercoating works. But basically, it is just about done. There's a little bit up here that I must have sprayed too thick because that's not quite dry yet. But anyway, and it's also really humid outside. It's Florida in summer, so anyway, that's done. Another thing that I addressed today was I had an oil pan leak, or so I thought it was an oil pan leak. Turns out it was the dipstick. Let's see if I can get down there. Right where, see if I can highlight it with the flashlight. Right where the dipstick connects is just basically a push fitting, and it's got an O-ring, and the entire dipstick here pulls out once you unbolt this one little fastener right there. The whole thing comes out. Anyway, so what happened was that was leaking, and it was dripping all the way down the side of the oil pan, and onto the underneath side of the oil pan. So I'm not quite sure why that was happening, or why the oil level was high enough there that it was leaking out. I'm not really sure, because the actual, the dipstick part, that's actually what everyone knows is the dipstick, sticks out, a ways, so you can, dip it into the oil inside the pan. So I'm not really sure why the oil was that high, but anyway, that's where the leak was coming from. So now that we figured that out, I went and bought a little O-ring, sealed that up, drained all this god-awful black oil out of the oil pan, so now there's no oil in it. But anyway, so I'm just waiting. I broke the oil pan, accidentally dropped the car down on top of it, so now it leaks everywhere. So I'm just waiting until I've got another day that I can mess with it. That way I can get the oil out of that oil pan, and fill the car with new oil. And then we'll see if it still leaks. Hopefully it does not. I'm pretty sure the O-ring should have fixed it. In other news, here's the radiator support. It was black, and then I dusted it with gold. I like how it turned out. Ignore my god-awful welds over here. That was kind of a tough angle to get into, but whatever. So anyway, got new hardware for this as well, so everything is nice and tight with lock washers and everything. So anyways, starting to come together slowly but surely. So anyways, that's where we stand as of right now. Next on the list is pretty much to get the clutch drained and get new fluid in there, because this stuff is pretty gross and black, and it's about time that we change that. I removed this charcoal canister, which is basically just it takes fuel fumes, I guess, and feeds it back into the intake so that they can be burned. Basically, no harm is done by removing it. It's just a cosmetic thing. It just gets it out of this side of the engine bay. This little tube right here is the one that really feeds to that. So I've still got to cap that off, and we should be good to go. And then it feeds back into here at the top of the intake manifold. And so what I've done is I basically just took a piece of tubing that I got from taking that canister off, and I've just looped it right here with another little intake nipple thing on the intake manifold. So anyway, that's where we stand with that. And I think that's all I've done. This little, on the 1.6s, I'm not really sure on the 1.8s, I have never checked, but there's something, I guess, called the cursed water plug, and that is at the back of the engine here. Anyway, so I wasn't sure what this little thing here with the hose clamp and bolt in it were. So anyway, I checked that out, and it runs back to the little water plug back there. So someone has brought a water line out here, which I'm not really 100% sure what that would be for. Because you wouldn't really, I mean, that's all hot water from the back of the block, so you wouldn't really want that going to the turbo. So I'm not really sure why that was brought out here, or maybe it was factory and then it was cut off. I'm not really sure. I do know that the 1.8s have an oil cooler assembly where like the water flows around the oil, like around the oil filter area. So I don't know if the 1.6s are the same. Most of my knowledge is about the 1.8. So anyway, it's kind of been a little bit of a learning experience with this car. But anyway, I'm not sure if it was, maybe for the oil cooler, if there is one on these cars, although it doesn't look like there's anything in there. So anyway, I don't know what that's for, but whatever, it's there, so I checked it. Whatever, so that's all good. What else? Oh, got a new fan sensor here for the radiator fans, so that's good. In bad news, I broke the plug. This wire here was for that, and I broke that, so got to fix that at some point. But yeah, that's pretty much where we stand at this point. So just wanted to make a little update video, so so we could keep track. That's it. So.